Welcome to the KIC booth here at SMTA International. Delighted to be joined by Miles Moreau. Great to see you, Miles.
Good to see you, Trevor.
Okay, so you've got a range of profiler products that you've had in the market for quite a while, but obviously we're always trying to optimize the process all the time. One of the big characteristics here, especially in North America, is we have a lot of small to medium contract manufacturers that have got high mix products. And you've come out with something that's going to help them to optimize that and perhaps reduce the changeover time.
Yeah, that's kind of the direction of our tools, especially on the profiling side, has been how can we help the customer, one, set up a lot of new products coming in each week. So we have our autofocus for that, helps them get that first recipe started. But now what we're seeing is because they're doing these changeovers, small runs, probably 4 or 5 times a day, maybe they have to change over the line, and they don't want the oven to be the bottleneck, waiting for it to stabilize the temperature after 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
So what we've done is leveraged our predictive model and our software, and we have this recipe search engine. Combined is to take, say they have a dozen assemblies or more, is to look at all those profiles and recipes and then use that search engine and try to dial it down to fewer and fewer to the ideal of one recipe will work for all their boards.
Right.
And if they reduce that to one recipe or maybe 2 or 3 at most, then their changeover time is less and less.
Well, the amount of parameters that they have to change to get to meet the new recipe is going to be less.
Right, exactly.
So you've got a specific name for this? It's very literal?
Yeah, very literal. It's a common recipe finder.
Common recipe finder.
So you can imagine if you have a dozen or 2 dozen recipes and have to every one wait for that recipe to stabilize before you can start production, and 2, make sure the operator is loading the right recipe. And if you have a few dozen recipes or more, they have to get each one right when they load it. And we hear customers like, how do I know my operator's loading the right one? Well, if you start to reduce those to where you only have a couple recipes that work for all your boards, you're going to reduce that errors as well.
That's right. You're going to reduce the potential for human error there, for sure. Now, one of the other areas, okay, we've got the perfect recipe set up, but what happens if it drifts out of process because of some changes within the machine, within the blowers or something like that? You've got a new thermal measurement system that can check for this.
Yeah, we've always had process monitoring systems. That's kind of been the DNA of KIC. The first systems we had were process monitoring, and we embed thermocouples and other sensors into the oven and gives the temperature profile for every production board. But now we've developed a new type of sensor where we can, at the critical area, the peak of the heated section of the oven, we embed this new sensing technology, and we can read the board temperature of the production board.
Right.
And by knowing the profile from our RPI system and this new sensor, this additional capability, we can then detect if there's been a heat transfer change.
Okay.
So has the convection changed in the process that's impacting that board. And so this is something revolutionary, new, that has not been done before. That the technology itself is something people are familiar with, the pyrometer, but embedding a miniature pyrometer into a 300°C zone and being able to read board temperature is something very new.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And gives a lot of value to our customers.
Yeah. So I mean, the chances are, you're detecting if a blower's running subpar or if one's out altogether, and that would affect the core temperature of the board going through.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. Well, there you go. Two new innovations there from KIC. Great. What about, is this going to be launched fully at Productronica in a couple of weeks?
We're going to have a lot more information in the launch, and then ship date we're targeting for January 2024.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing the launch at Productronica, and wish you every success with it in 2024.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Trevor.
Okay.